Are there any funny Kiss stories you'd be willing to share?
Well, I mean, through the years, obviously, there was always, excuse me, a lot of crazy things. You know, one thing was funny, and it was only because the current shit show had a little bit of a spotlight on toilet paper. Okay. So I'll give you two funny things. Eric Carr was a real prankster, you know, and out of his nervousness, at times he would get kind of, nervous with, just the traveling. Gene and Paul can be a little, everyone's in their zone and everything. But I think Eric would naturally just be the jokester and make jokes and make fun of himself. He didn't pick on other people. I know Paul really enjoyed it. I'd laugh. And obviously, oddly enough, the demon Gene would be one of the subjects to be kind of picked on because he can handle it. He doesn't care. He gets up. It doesn't matter. He could be in his robe and look all disheveled, and he'll go like, beautiful. You know what I mean? And he'll just look in the mirror and say that. That's Gene. So I remember one time, Gene, you know, some of the dressing rooms, even at some of the bigger venues, if it's an old room, you know, the bathrooms could be close to where the rooms are. Not everything's a basketball arena, you know, a concert arena style place. And I don't know where we were, but it was one of those where, yeah, the bathroom's private, but you knew it was over there, and you can lob a roll of toilet paper over the top, and it would land probably on someone's head in there, you know. So that's what went on, and then came over the top, you know what I mean, back from Gene. I ran into Gene years ago with Lisa. There happened to have been a really, really, you know, amazing medical building in Century City that, you know, really good doctors were at. And I remember I had a follow-up. I can't remember if it was the orthopedic guy or my eye doctor. They were both in that building, okay? But Lisa and I were there. And we run into Gene in the lobby. There's always like a convenience store pharmacist in those kind of buildings. Really nice one, too. And we run into Gene. It's always great when I bump into them, any of the guys. And I do. When I lived in LA, at times I did. So Gene and I were chatting, and I was looking for maybe a little snack or something. And then we were over by the, somewhere where the chips and the candies were, right? And that's where he saw Hello Kitty. And, you know, because they offer things in a convenience store for the kids, you know, that are there. There's probably a pediatrician in the building. And he said, Hello Kitty. How about kiss Hello Kitty? And I was like, why not, Gene? You know what I mean? Because that's Gene Simmons, okay? So sure enough, you know, I'm sure it didn't happen in 6 months, but it happened, you know, in a year or two. There it was. And that turned out to be a very successful license for them, you know.
That's crazy. You know, it's funny. I was just reading about that yesterday, that there's a Kiss Hello Kitty, and I was like, what? How did that happen?
Yep. Well, the fact that I was there when it was born, you know, kind of, I didn't get anything for it, but now I have toilet paper and tissues from my dear friend. And then just the ironic side of that story, which I should share, is just, I have this wonderful friend that I've known a long time helping me with my website. Okay. Thank God I have some people that could do some of that grunt work. Okay. And she owns, this, site called, Kiss Addiction. Okay. And it's a good site for, like, you know, Kiss items and stuff. And she always offered the Hello Kitty toilet paper, right? Which is really weird when you think about it. And, somehow toilet paper came up, and she goes, you know, we always had a pallet of the toilet paper, you know, and they never really sold. And then, of course, you know, the pandemic happened, and now we're down to one roll. And I went, oh, please, Jill, I want it. I pay you. I want it. You know, just to have it, right? So it came, a couple weeks ago, and, she threw in a bonus, I think, Hello Kitty, Kiss tissues, you know. It's amazing. Everything's connected to either toilet paper or Hello Kitty now.
This virus, because we're all inside, we all have a lot of more time to think about things, right? You said you came across some of your guitars that you toured with Kiss with. Do you ever see those guitars and reminisce about any old stories with Kiss?
You know, first of all, I took a whole portion of my upstairs in my home and got all the records up. You know, Lisa and I did a really wonderful job last year decorating the walls. You see a little bit in this shot, but this isn't really the Kiss area. That's out there, a little bit over there. But, and then we interspersed some photos, and actually like that white, ESPM1 that's known from a lot of the Revenge tour and And just me playing it live a lot from both the Hot in the Shade and the Revenge Tour, actually. That guitar obviously has a lot of memories from me. And it was funny, you know, pre-pandemic, oh wow, the battery clip in the back for that little effect that's built into the guitar, it's broken, I can't fix it. No, I just ordered a soldering gun. I'm going to fix it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have done that. Well, I probably would have eventually brought it to a repair guy. No, I'm going to figure it out myself. You know what I mean? I'm doing stuff like that. So, it is fun to revisit that. The stories happen more when I see a visual, not necessarily hold a guitar. And people do have time to share their Kiss stuff. And I'm making, you know, files and notes on my phone and devices of like when someone shares a cool YouTube from, you know, whatever, somewhere, Fort Wayne, an Asylum tour. Not much of that out there. Madison Square Garden, cool. So I've been compiling those things. And I've always done that, but not to the degree that I'm doing it now. But I don't have enough time to manage it all. I'll be honest. I get up even earlier and I'm working even more. But again, that keeps me sane. I'm a very, very driven guy, and I have to learn new things at the same time as do the things that I know how to do. So if you see me on social media, you know, I've been performing with my wife. I do what I came up with, isolated riffs, okay? You know, where I just do a snippet of here's the guitar solo, here's this. And I have been using some of those guitars, those iconic guitars, and I'm going to continue to. But those things are important. But now I also have to learn the recording studio, because I used to always just go to a guy's house here in town back when I lived in LA. Instead of me pressing record, I had a buddy, real talented guy. He could just come over with his laptop with the Pro Tools, plug into my converter and my speakers, boom, go. You know what I mean? And I get going, you know. No, I don't want anyone over here. I'm not going nowhere. You know what I mean? So, just this past few days, I finally, you know, I'm going to explore a lot more, and you know, I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest. But I literally hooked up the little amp that I've been sharing all my lead guitar stuff with the fans through social media, because I don't need a Marshall stack to get my sound. You know, it could be a small amp. And that amp, I threw the microphone on and gave it a little test run yesterday, you know, and I was like, everybody I shared my quick, just let's see what it sounds like. Everybody was really excited about it. So that's another facet that I've never brought into my home. Of course I did sessions. Of course I recorded all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes in a year I'll do 20 of them, you know, for people I like and work on music. And I know my keyboard player, Tim, who keeps telling me, get your home studio going. I got stuff to send you. Please, let's do it. You know, and I'm kind of like, you know, so here I am learning another trick. And by the way, unlike other times, now I can play that Kiss guitar that I just finally changed the strings, soldered the, you know, the battery clip for the effect in it, you know. So that's exciting, you know. One of the features I've always done, and I'll continue doing, but my social media, now I'm like posting stuff all the time. And I never did it quite that you know, frequent. But I do have the time, and I'm getting the love, you know what I mean? People are visiting my website. People have discovered how amazing my wife sings, and she can sing the Kiss songs great. But the point is, Guitar of the Month, Kiss Guitar of the Month. That was one of my features. You know, you can see that on brucekulick.com too. So, every one of those guitars, instead of me just pulling them out and struggling, now I'll have the time, because of the pandemic, to change the strings and set it up exactly how I want. Because most of those were more about like, hey, these are the features. Here it's where you might have seen that instrument, you know, and et cetera. So yeah, this time, without trips to travel to, appointments to make, places to go, you know, dinners to eat out with friends, you know, movies to see, everything's in the house, you know. It's pretty wild.
If you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Everything on this channel is completely original. I'm the one doing all the videos and all the editing. So if you guys like what you see and you want to support me, the best way to do so is honestly just to subscribe. Thanks for watching.